My name is Maralee. I'm 47 years old. I live out here in Eugene, Oregon. I've been living outside for a while. And I'm not a victim of homelessness. I really am taking part in a life of non-accountability after having to be so accountable for so many years. I was a great mom. My children are grown. They're 29, 25, 24. And they got their shit together. And they love their mom. What happened is, I think that I've got really good reviews when I first moved here because I'm usually quiet during the day. My place was smaller, never left any garbage, and people actually wondered who stayed here. And I have had to shuffle around because people are pressured to be intolerant of anyone homeless, even if they would like to help them out and give them maybe a temporary spot on their place. It's really shunned upon, and it's not okay with other peers of theirs. And I think that it's really important that people out here can understand there are peers. Who the hell are they? You know. And so for me, I'm pretty much ready to go back indoors. I finally have the resources I could do it. But I'm telling you what, I did 20 years hard time in the kitchen. Okay, I was a great mom and I had to work my ass off and it was not easy. And what happened was I left and my relationship with my ex-old man, we're still really good friends, like best friends. I was with him for like almost 15 years, but he drinks, he would black out, and I lived up Marcola Road, and he would beat the shit out of me. I had to wake up with my face being ground in the driveway. If I would have called the cops, they would have killed him. And so I moved out. I woke up with a concussion, and him and I both decided it'd be best, you know, if I just got a vehicle and maybe went down south, saw my mom and stuff. He didn't split the assets after a long time of me saving money. And he handed over all his checks. He still works for Rexius, and I was the Rexius mom to all my kids and everything they did. And it was hard for me to chew because, I don't know, my parents were in prison a lot. And I received like little baby dolls in paper wrapping, and my kids have never known that. But I always knew that I wanted to totally liberate myself with to do really inappropriate things at the appropriate time and have experiences. Because whatever I'm working through, I don't know, sometimes I think it's familial karmatic shit that I'm attached to. But what happened was, I had to move out because I went and had an evaluation at Women's Space, and they told me that the likelihood that Charlie would commit homicide on me very, very soon was like 100%, and that I needed to really get out of there. And they couldn't offer me shelter. I lived in my van. I had a great year. Also, what happened was I started really enjoying my lifestyle out here and having experiences that were experiences and doing it in a way that was really responsible and I think unique as a West Coast junkie. Because I do what I want to do, but I'm not on probation or parole or anything. I have been one time, but I made it off probation in time just because I think my probation officer just loved my candor, and I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a total control freak. And I have really got to experience a bunch of really disgusting, rude people, but some of the sweetest, most wonderful people, neighbors that you'd ever meet, seriously, right now. People that actually care about their community and care about everyone in it. There's a lot of people like that here. Sorry.
That's okay.
I've just been really impressed, and I don't think that people know how much I respect them for not making a big deal or blowing things up or just put me in the crock pot and let me sit for a little. It's really, really human of them. Don't get me wrong, people are total jerks too, but I'm talking especially my peers in this homeless communities, these hobo fucking womanizing piece of shit, ex-pedophile, a lot of them are. Okay, it's not okay. They're inappropriate, you know, when it's really inappropriate. And I'm tough. I'm tough. and I put an impression upon people, and I'm also really good at integrating great incentives, and I really compliment people, and if I go to the mission, I try to make all the guys feel better about themselves as men just because they fucking deserve it, so I treat them like I can.
Sounds like you're very liberated right now.
I have been really liberated, but when it comes cold and my hands get cold, I'm not liberated. Especially if we're running around at the warming centers and he's hoe-bagging all the fucking blah. You don't even want to know. And I don't want him to do it. Don't confess. Yeah. So there's some real weirdos out here, but there's some real nice old bums too that have really helped me through some hard times. Russ has went to jail for several months at a time. I was out here not this last winter, but the winter before, all winter pretty much by myself. From September 28th to February 17th or something, a long time.
Wow.
I made it by myself. I don't know how I did it. I was awful high probably. I was high, and I had a killer bike, and I had all my little gear, and I had bear mace, and I had freaking a system in order, and I stayed where I wanted and won people over, and people try to be rude to me, and I'm like, mister, I just happen to have a rapport with a lot of people because I mind my manners. If the bus driver tells me to do something, I don't care how snippety he is, I just tell him yes sir and do it. Seriously right now, and not a big deal. And you can always take the next bus in 5 minutes. That makes the bus driver feel better about himself and his job easier, even if he thinks he's mad. Just to have someone be subordinate to his authority on that bus is helpful. Once in a while, he needs that shit. I do it.
What would you say have been some of the hardest parts or biggest barriers to living outside?
Because what happens is once you live outside, it's like when you want to come back indoors, you're on a revolving door, and it's almost like you can't find your paradigm is really skewed, is what happens. It's trippy. But what happens also is you really get to know yourself as a person and feel good about who you are, if you want to feel good about that, but also people want to emulate skills that you have that are important for our community and for our kids. I mean, my kids, they went to bed at 7:30, okay? They eat salad every night, all right? My daughter, 2 of my kids are high school graduates. My son Forrest, he got his GED when he's 16, he got a job. He's almost a nurse now. He's 25. He's doing great, and my kids are smart. I was a great mom, though. I did everything. Battle of the books, soccer, basketball, t-ball, flag football. God, t-ball, I was just this big fat baboon mom too, and I'm like, I was into it. Sid and Mark, they used to be on KZL here. They sent me to everything. I'm talking, I saw Bob Dylan. I got to take my boyfriend there. I went to all the freaking El Torritos, the Sound and Love Orchestras at the Hilton, to the aquarium a couple different times, to the Mummy too with Sid and Mark themselves. They supported my kids and I a lot. I got the Ford Opportunity Scholarship year 2000, and I just rocked it. I just did good. I met Charlie. My daughter got sick. She actually got a tumor on her pituitary gland when she was in early middle school. She had to be on birth control and stuff. She was bled and stuff. She was creating Pitocin. It was really messed up. It was right on her pituitary gland, this tumor. And I was just starting to rock. I just got a job with the DMV and stuff. I worked at the one in Springfield, and I was in charge of licensing and testing and stuff. And she got sick, and Charlie was there, and he said quit, and he worked for Rexius, and he brought home the bacon. I fried it up in a pan. I stayed home with the kids and gardened. We had animals. I was a strict mom. I feel good about pretty much everything I did as a mom. There's a couple things I do different, but I don't know how God even let me do that, because KRBM would dedicate for those about to rock to my kids sometimes. And we listen to Porter every Saturday when we clean the house. I don't know. They're pretty well-rounded people. My daughter Ariel, she works at Taco Bell right here in the WIT every day. And my son Jasper, he lives out in Thurston. He's had several different jobs, but He works out at the Goodwill at West 11th right now, even though he's been laid off.
So you still see your kids now and then?
Well, when they have time, my boys work and get pussy, and they're great. I mean, they're 24 and 25. That's what they do. There's no denying that. And my daughter, yes, I'm a part of her life. I love her. I'm very consistent with her, although I didn't have a chance to call her back day before yesterday, and I really want to spend time with her. But the fact of the matter is, I just got this big lump sum of money not too very long ago, a back child support payment. I still have a lot of the money, but I don't like being accountable to answering any questions, and I feel kind of like I need to get down to Toys R Us now that I can and buy each of my grandchildren just a spectacular toy so they fall in love with me and not give a shit what my kids think. Because that's the way that is. I paid, now I'm getting paid. That's what it is. And so, not even all of it, but enough to improve the quality of rest in my life in a way that, within this, I've had some really hard things. My mom hung herself in her little fifth-wheel trailer last year because she got so sick from candida, she couldn't stand her stomach being nauseated and sick anymore. It caused her so much agony, and she ended up taking her own life.
Can you speak up to your audience?
Yes, my mom. She hung herself and it sucked. But this old hippie on the bus that I ran into, he really put it in a way that he told me that if my mom actually had the guts to do it and she was hurting that bad, okay? And I should be feeling at peace that she was able to do that for herself. She must have been miserable. I'm really resonating with the fact that I have a lot of respect for my mom. Even though she wasn't the great mom to me that I was to my kids. She's still my mom. She's a pretty good grandma.
God bless you.
Yeah, God bless my mom. Rest in peace, But since I have Ariel in my life, my daughter, all my kids have the same dad. I was in love with him. I was with him for 14 years. I was with him from the time I was 14 till I was 28. Had all my kids by him. Dr. Fox is the youngest son in East Bay. I was a hoe-bagged bitch. I tried to do his brothers too. But I wouldn't. I was bad. I wanted to pick out which one I wanted.
Good to have options. Good to have
That's
options.
all it was. But, I ended up with him, so he ended up owing me quite a bit of child support, and just by the grace of God, I got some of it recently. And you know what? Russ broke his ankle at the skate park hoe-bagging, and we've had to go through a really hard couple months, and especially at the end of the winter. He had to go to the hospital for surgery. He has a metal plate and 5 screws put into his leg, in which heals perfectly because we don't shoot dope. I've never shot dope in my life, not once. I don't suffer from hepatitis C. So most of my friends do that, but he tries to behind my back, and he makes really bad decisions. Yeah, but I do have policies for certain things, and policies of how close I'll let strangers get to me at certain times, and I'm tenaciously insatiable. I'm voracious and volatile. People see me putting others in headlocks at times, and basically I don't want to be put in the position to defend myself, but if it happens, it's never pretty. And it's been a great experience. So now I'm contemplating on whether I want to spend money for rent or if I want to buy myself a little motor home, or what kind of responsibility I'm supposed to be chewing off with my little payments, because it causes me to think and be uncomfortable, and it's going to be good for me. And so I still get nervous, and I've spent a little bit of my money on nothing. I've had a good time doing it, but the bleeding's got to stop. And so, but I've been very generous to my community and to my kids, and I will continue being at my whim, because that money was owed to me for back child support. I already paid those bills. Yeah, so it's like that. And my kids rock. They literally, my son, he picked up the ukulele to pick up women at Saturday market. And
good move.
My son Jasper, he is so strapped with responsibility. I can't even believe it. He's got a beautiful old lady, 2 kids, 2 pit bulls that each have a litter of puppies right now, 2 snakes, 2 ferrets.
Oh, I got a ferret. Well, ferrets. That's cool.
I'm talking, his house is clean. I cannot even believe this shit. He called me for Mother's Day, and I did get a ticket for my son Jasper's rent is $1,000 a month, people. I used to be strapped with bills like that, and I made it, but wow, I can't even imagine that now. Seriously, right now, or what's going to happen, who knows, the panic inside sucks. I remember that feeling, trying to keep it together. That was just as hard as being out here. All those dishes, socks and underwear every day for years for the guys in the morning. I'm talking just, I was on methadone through my doctor, and my son got put in Serbia, and I'd have to go to those meetings and concentrate on not letting my eyes roll in front of them because I was pretty heavy duty. I had got 160 methadone 10s a month for this injury that I had. I was freaking whacked out. I had 100 burns in one of my blankets. Yeah, when I finally kicked that, I went completely off, and I've never gone back to narcotics. That cured me. The withdrawal was horrible. However, I will eat tramadol once in a while if I can get my hands on them. They're pretty good. They're the non-narcotic that works on the same receptors. Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I think the cops around here, I think they could be a lot worse and a lot meaner to people than they should be in some instances, really. I think that they're the Febreze of the neighborhood. That's what I call them. You know, and their roles have expanded from what they first were. You know, cops have changed. They're able to be more individual people in their jobs now, I think. And some of them are dirty, but some of them are good. And the ones that are dirty aren't that dirty that I see, but you know, they will totally pick someone's side biasly and go with it. My side mostly. They will. You know, Russ, he'd be laying there. He's like, oh. The Springfield cops show up. They'd be like, Maralee wants us to take him to jail. And I'm like, for what? Assault by receiving? Those cops would be like, we call that disorderly conduct on his part. He's like, no, don't do it. But they're always trying to pin him with something. And I think that our community has propensity to be really involved, but we're put in the position of being completely defensive because people victimize everyone no matter what and don't give a shit and shit on you while they're at it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too bad because it's disgusting. Mostly I make them stay away from me. I get more disgusting, okay? I walk around, I get snake titties on and they're wanting to bite these people. No, really, it's like, I show love. It's been really nice to have a little bit of money too, because I can influence people and show them I'm not any different than I was. It's the same old policies and stuff. Although I'll always have a cigarette for a while if they want to ask for one or something. They can have one. I don't like them to come back and frequent, but I'm not mean to them. I'm sweet. And if they're weirdos, I just try to give them a couple cigarettes and get them on down the road as quick as I can. I'm not rude. I don't want a confrontation. I don't want them to remember me really for any reason. I just want, if they get out of jail and come here, I like this because it's Cop Row. I feel safe here, comparatively. And nobody's ever fucked with my belongings here. It's been really, really liberating and wonderful. My storage that I rented is empty. Stupid. Anyways, I'm ready to step back into some roles, I think. But it's really hard because I'm so glamorized by the lifestyle and by my whole power trip around it. My ego has really gotten off on it. I really need to tame that, though. I work I need to do. I'm ready to do it because I don't want to ever be away from Rusty. And it's really hard on a relationship. Yeah. You know.